New Year, viewer. I welcome you to the year 2024. Thank you for the year 2023. Thank you for staying tuned always. Thank you for always viewing the videos. Thank you for sharing and for liking the videos. None of them go unnoticed. I appreciate you. And yes, it's a new year and you are in for a smooth and interesting time with Gloria. So sit back and enjoy as we go on this short break. Alright guys, this is History with Gloria, and as you all know, anytime you see me pop up on your screen, you know it's one history or the other. This is what I love doing. So this year we are in for an interesting ride from one town to the other. Sit back and learn. Welcome back, viewer. And for the first time in a long time, we'll be exploring the history of a city. One of the biggest cities in Nigeria. I'm sure you are guessing which city is that. Yes, we'll be exploring the history of Ibadan. Behind me is the famous Oluyole statue, which depicts the hero behind the story and the history of Ibadan. It was created in the year 1829 as a war camp for warriors coming from Oyo, Ife and Ijebu. A forest site and several ranges of hills varying in elevation from 160 to 275 meters offered strategic defense opportunities. Ibadan is the capital and most populated city of Oyo State in Nigeria. Ibadan is also the third largest city by population in Nigeria, with a total population of 3,649,000 as of the year 2021, and over 6 million people within its metropolitan area. Ibadan is the country's largest city by geographical area, and at the time of Nigeria's independence in the year 1960, Ibadan was the largest and most populated city in the country and the second most populous in Africa behind Cairo. Ibadan is ranked the second fastest growing city on the African continent according to the UN Human Settlement Research Program for the year 2022. Ibadan is also ranked third in West Africa in the Tech Startup Index. Ibadan joined the UNESCO Global Network of Learning Cities in the year 2016. Ibadan is located in southwestern Nigeria, 128 kilometers inland northeast of Lagos and 530 kilometers southwest of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. It is a prominent transit point between the coastal region and areas in the hinterland of the country. Ibadan had been the administrative center of the whole western region since the early days of the British colonial rule, and part of the city's ancient protective walls still stand till this date. The principal inhabitants of the city are the Yoruba people, as well as various communities, notably among them are the Igbo, Hausa, Edo and Ibiobio from other parts of the country. Ibadan, coined from the phrase "about," which literally means by the edge of the middle, came into existence in the year 1829 during a period of turmoil that characterized Yoruba land as at that time. It was in this period that many old Yoruba cities such as Old Oyo, Ijaye and Owu disappeared, and newer ones such as Abeokuta, New Oyo, which is the Oyo Atiba, and Ibadan sprang up to replace the old Yoruba cities. According to local historians, Lagelu founded the city and was initially intended to be a war camp for warriors coming from Oyo, Ife and Ijebu. as a forest site containing several ranges of hills varying in elevation. The location of the camp offered strategic defense opportunities. Moreover, its location as the fringe of the forest from which the city got its name promoted its emergence as a market center for traders and goods from both the forest and grassland areas. In 1852, the Church Missionary Society sent David and Hannah Hindra to found a mission. They decided to build the mission and a church in Ibadan when they arrived in the year 1853. Ibadan thus had initially begun as a military state, and it remained so until the last decade of the 19th century. The city-state also succeeded in building a large empire from the 1860s to the 1890s, which extended over much of northern and eastern Yorubaland. It was appropriately nicknamed Idi Ibon or Gun Base because of its unique military character. In Ibadan, unlike other Yoruba cities with traditional kingship institutions, the warrior class became the rulers of the city as well as the most important economic group. Ibadan grew into such an impressive and sprawling urban center, such that by the end of the year 1829, Ibadan dominated the Yoruba region militarily, politically, and economically. The military sanctuary expanded even further when refugees began arriving in their large numbers from northern Oyo following raids by the Fulani warriors. After losing the northern portion of their region to the marauding Fulanis, many Oyo indigenes retreated deeper into the Ibadan environs. The Fulani Caliphate attempted to expand further into the western region of modern-day Nigeria, but was decisively defeated by the armies of Ibadan in the year 1840, which eventually halted their progress. The colonial period reinforced the position of the city in the Yoruba urban network. After a small boom in rubber business between 1901 and 1913, cocoa became the main produce of the region, and this attracted European and Levantine firms, as well as southern and northern traders from Lagos, Ijebu-Ode, and Kano, among others. Ibadan city became a major point of bulk trade. Its central location and accessibility from the capital city of Lagos were major considerations in the choice of Ibadan as the headquarters of the Western Province in the year 1939, which ranged from the northernmost areas of Oyo State to Ekeremo, Bomadi, and Antani, which were regions transferred from the old Delta Province in the old Western Union and later Midwest to the old River State and later Bayelsa. And that was during the Gowon administration shortly before the Nigerian Civil War. In 1893, Ibadan area became a British protectorate after a treaty signed by the Fijabi, the Baale of Ibadan, with the British acting governor of Lagos Colony, George C. Denton, on 15th August. By then, the population had swelled to 120,000. The British developed the new colony to facilitate their commercial activities in the area, and Ibadan shortly grew into the major trading center that it is today. Ibadan is located in southwestern Nigeria in the southeastern part of Oyo State at about 119 kilometers northwest of Lagos and 120 kilometers east of the Nigerian international border with the Republic of Benin. It lies completely within the tropical forest zone, but close to the boundary between the forest and the derived savanna. Ibadan city ranges in elevation from 150 meters in the valley area to 275 meters above sea level on the major north-south ridge, which crosses the central part of the city. The city covers a total area of 3,080 square kilometers, which is the largest in Nigeria after Bauchi. The city of Ibadan is naturally drained by 4 rivers with many tributaries. Ona River in the north and west, Ogbere River towards the east, Ogunpa River flowing through the city, and Kudeti River in the central part of the metropolis. Ogunpa River, a third order stream with a channel length of 12.76 km and a catchment area of 54.92 km square. Lake Eleyele is located at the northwestern part of the city, while the Osun River and the Asejire Lake bound the city to the east. Ibadan has a tropical wet and dry climate with a lengthy wet season and relatively constant temperatures throughout the year. Initially, there were 11 local governments in Ibadan, but upon the arrival of the executive governor of Oyo State, Senator Isiaka Abiola Ajimobi, he created more local government councils, which is known as LCDAs, out of some of the existing local government areas in Oyo State. Until 1970, Ibadan was the largest city in sub-Saharan Africa by surface area. In 1952, it was estimated that the total area of the city was approximately 103.8 km square. However, only 36.2 km square was built up. This meant that the remaining 67 km square were devoted to non-urban uses such as farmlands, river floodplains, forest reserve, and water bodies. In the 1980s, the Ibadan-Lagos Expressway generated the greatest urban sprawl, followed by the Eleyele Expressway. Since then, Ibadan has spread further into the neighboring local government areas of Akinyele and Egbeda in particular. It should be noted that Ibadan is the capital city of Oyo State, the fourth largest state economy in Nigeria, and the second largest non-oil state economy in Nigeria after Lagos State. With its strategic location on the railway line connecting Lagos to Kano, the city is a major center for trade in cassava, cocoa, cotton, timber, rubber, and palm oil. The city and its environs is home to several industries such as agro-allied, textile, food processing, healthcare and cosmetic, tobacco processing and cigarette manufacturing, leatherworks and furniture making, to mention just a few. There is abundance of clay, kaolin and aquamarine in the city environments, and there are several cattle ranches, a dairy farm, as well as a commercial abattoir in Ibadan. There are dozens of banks and insurance firms spread out across the cityscape that service the city's millions inhabitants. The main economic activities engaged in by the Ibadan populace include agriculture, trade, public service employment, factory work, service sector or tertiary production, and others. The headquarters of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, popularly known as IITA, have extensive grants for crops and agricultural research into key tropical crops such as bananas, plantains, maize, cassava, soybean, cowpea, and yam. According to a report, Ibadan is the third cheapest Nigerian city to live in. Ibadan is a busy city but also accommodates an adequate amount of entertainment and relaxation. There are numerous bars, lounges, and nightclubs to enjoy, including the Lebanese-owned Coco Dome, which is the oldest nightclub in the city dating back to the mid-90s. The Heritage Mall and the Coco Mall houses several local and international retail stores. The two malls were built to interlink with each other and located in the same compound as Cocoa House at Dugbe. And here is the famous Cocoa House at Dugbe in Ibadan. This was built in the year 1964, and as at then, it was the first skyscraper in West Africa. And to today, the house is still standing. The two malls contain a South African retail shop, which is ShopRite, Pep Store, several cafes and restaurants, electronic outlet, Mr. Price, Cash and Carry, to mention just a few. There is also the Palms Mall at Ring Road, which houses one of the largest ShopRite stores in Nigeria. There are various sports centers and facilities within the city limits of Ibadan. The city is also host to dozens of football academies where soccer talents are groomed. The Agodi Garden of Oyo State has been completely refurbished to contain a botanical garden, a zoo, a swimming pool, guest house, bar, and restaurants. The city of Ibadan has the first standard Nigerian stadium, which is the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, formerly known as Liberty Stadium, as well as the Lekan Salami Stadium. Ibadan is host to Nigeria's premier higher institution of learning, which is the University of Ibadan, which was first established as a college of the University of London in the year 1948 and later converted into an autonomous university in 1962. Other higher educational institutions in the city include the Polytechnic of Ibadan, Lead City University, First Technical University, Koladaisi University, Federal College of Animal Health and Production Technology, Federal College of Forestry, Island College of Technology, Samonda Federal School of Statistics, Federal Cooperative College, Tower Polytechnic, Ibadan City Polytechnic, City Gate Polytechnic, NIIT University, among others. There are also numerous public and private primary and secondary schools located in the city and its suburbs. Other noteworthy institutions in the city include the University College Hospital Ibadan, popularly known as UCH, which is the first teaching hospital in Nigeria, the internationally acclaimed International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, popularly known as IITA, headquartered in the city, the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, NISER, the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, the National Root Crops Research Institute, and the Institute of Agricultural Research and Training, known as IAR&T, the Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria, the Nigerian Horticultural Research Institute, known as NIHOT, all under the auspices of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria. Ibadan City hosts the first TV station in Africa, known as NTA, in the year 1959. The oldest surviving Nigerian newspaper is in Ibadan as well, which is the Tribune, founded by Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the Premier of Western Nigeria. Also, the first private TV station, known as Galaxy TV in Oyo State, also started in the city. This history of Ibadan will come in episode, so stay tuned as I bring to you the history in the next episode. Thank you.